practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. The next page. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, page 10. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. So this, the praise. Those of you who are already aware of this is fine. Those of us who are new here, the praise to Shakyamuni, it is not that only if we praise about Shakyamuni, he'll be happy, then he'll help us. If we don't praise him, he'll not be happy, he'll not help us. This is not the idea. Idea is that whether we praise him or not, he'll be always like a mother, irrespective of what the child does. The mother always loves the child. Likewise, the Buddha Shakyamuni loves us, and it's not like a story. It's the reality that we have to discover it, not to believe in it. We have to discover it. How? That when you become enlightened, you become like a mother, far, far, far more intensely loving than how the mother loves to the child. Although the mother loves the child so much, when the mother is so tired, and times the mother may feel a little upset. But whereas when you become a Buddha, you will never feel upset, despite whether the children, what other beings, how they behave. You never feel upset, you never feel they agitated. Your love is unconditional, the other any situation. Okay, with that in mind, the point is that what are the qualities indicated there, on the basis, the qualities indicated there, on the basis of which the Buddha is praised. So see if you have some of these qualities. If you do have, you have to acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge it is so important. You have to acknowledge it. Acknowledging it will inspire you to do more. And it's very important. Some people, when they have to put qualities, they try to be too modest and then just ignore this. So you have to admit this, acknowledge this, and of course we should not be arrogant on the basis of this. We should be inspired. There are two things. Once the good qualities that you have, then one can become, your ego can go up. This is negative side. Whereas you acknowledge the good qualities, on that basis, you become more inspired to help others, more inspired to be kind to others, more inspired to learn more. So this is the proper approach. So whereas should we see that the good qualities, what is specified there of the Buddha's qualities, if you don't have these qualities, don't worry. Knowing that these are the qualities on the basis of which your Buddha nature, your pseudo profession can be activated. So knowing this, then you try to cultivate these qualities. In fact, we all have the seeds of these qualities within each one of us. Seeds are there. It's a matter of whether you got the chance to activate this or not. So therefore, give yourself the chance to activate these seeds by cultivating these qualities if they're absent within you. Okay, so let's recite this. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four destroyer, the completely perfected, full awakened being, perfectly knowledge and good conduct. Sugather, noble of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and full awakened one, endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, are prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise then are prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, will of the best, Lord, to you are prostrate. With the supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you are prostrate. Just be like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparable wise one, to you are prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit like qualities like a vast ocean, to you the one thus gone to thusness I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community, intended virtue, are prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue mind thoroughly. This is a teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew, a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this marriage may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the four faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Okay, let us turn to page 17, the Heart Sutra Mantra. Okay, so the Heart Sutra, we will recite the Heart Sutra Mantra instead of the whole Heart Sutra. Heart Sutra Mantra, okay, see if over the next 2 days, if we get a little more time, we'll go through the explanation, a brief explanation of the Heart Sutra and Heart Sutra Mantra. The point is that what we have learned thus far about activating the true nature of the purity within yourself, to activate this, so the true nature, what we have, what the Buddha has, is already within us, within each one of us, in complete form. It's in complete form. It's not that partially is there. No, it's with us in complete form. So what is missing is that it is not in the manifest form. It is more in the dormant state, that is mixed like gold. 1 kg gold mixed with the soil. You don't see the gold visible. Whereas on the other hand, there's a gold which is so pure, 1 kg, solid 1 kg gold without the mixture. So that is so visibly as gold, and the one mixed with the soil is not visible, and then we will instantly pick up the solid one. Whereas in the eyes of the experts, these two have the content of the gold, amount the content of the gold, 1 kg each. So they prove by removing the dirts. How to remove the dirts? Through the processes, through applying the remedies and subjecting this to the processes. By applying the remedies, that the dirts are separated. Likewise, we have to apply for ways and means to remove the mental dirts by separating the dirts from the true nature of the purity within us. So this is a process. Process means it's not that you begin and the very next moment you have the perfect purity. That doesn't happen. It takes a time. It takes a process. It involves a process. Process means it's a time. So this time is divided into 5 segments. 5 segments. So Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhiswaha, 5 segments. So this duration, the process of cleansing your mind so that the Buddha energy inside us, the true nature purity within each one of us, to make it manifest, and that you become like a sun. Once you become like a sun, you are never going to be cloudy. You are never going to be obscured by any cloud. Instead, you have the power to illuminate every atom of the universe. Likewise, when the Buddha energy inside us, when it becomes manifest fully, the power within you to illuminate every mind of the sentient beings, infinite sentient beings, is what you're going to achieve. So this is how you can really benefit the sentient beings, provided the sentient beings are ready from this side in terms of the readiness. Okay, so these are the 5 processes, and imagine that the Buddha Shakyamuni in front of us. The Buddha Shakyamuni exhorts us thus: don't remain in the fears of samsara. Come towards ultimate happiness by uncovering, by manifesting, by actualizing, unraveling the Buddha nature in yourself. And you hearing this melodious voice of the Buddha Shakyamuni, so rationally explained as to how to uncover this Buddha nature from the dirts, and then you inspire your 2 parents, you inspire all the family members, including your children, and everyone here in Israel, everyone in the world, everyone in the entire universe, informing them that, look, this is what a compassionate teacher Buddha Shakyamuni is exhorting us. Let us not remain in the fears of anxiety, stress, tension, and so forth, and instead we will go to the perfect state of purity by awakening this Buddha nature within us. And everyone so happily joins you in this journey of cleansing the mind. So with that mind, let us all say this 7 times together. Kirata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhiswadhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhiswadhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhiswadhyata Om Gati 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 Bodhiswadhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhiswadhyata. Okay. The Buddha Shakyamuni, 2,500 years ago, the Buddha Shakyamuni in India. So of course he was originally from Kapilavastu. Then from there he renounced the royal family life, and then he eventually, so basically he renounces the royal family life in order to look for a permanent solution to all the problems. So with this mind, he first met a teacher, Alara Kalam, and he learned whatever the teacher taught him, and he reached the same level of spiritual realization as that of the teacher. Then he requested for more teachings, and the teacher said that you've already reached the same level as I reached. And then again he went in search of the next teacher. He found the second teacher, Acharya Udrega. And again Acharya Udrega, his realization of the meditative experience was much deeper. And again, very soon he reached the Prince Siddhartha, young prince. He achieved the same level as the second teacher. And then asked for more teachings. The second teacher said that you've already reached the ultimate. There's nothing that you can learn more. You've already reached the ultimate. But Prince Siddhartha, this young prince, he realized that I came here to look for a solution whereby I can be of benefit to all sentient beings, provided from the sentient being side they are ready. And yet I have not acquired that skill as yet. And then he went in search of the deeper path, more profound path, and finally, under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya for 6 years of the intense practice, then he discovered the reality, which is emptiness. Okay, so emptiness, those of us who are new, you may interpret emptiness to mean nothingness, but this should not be connotation. So this we have to be able to learn over the next 2 days. So the point is that to discover the reality, ultimate reality. With this discovery, then he experienced, okay, now this is something which I should be teaching to all beings. If this is what I can teach the beings will be liberated from all the problems, all fears, all anxieties, all stress, all tension, all depression, and so forth. So that he experimented it on himself for 6 years, and finally he experienced that all his own mental defilements, they all dissolve in the process of this wisdom of emptiness, flaring wisdom of emptiness, and the becoming more and more manifest in him, become more and more intense in him. He realized that the negative forces, as the light dawns, then the darkness is dispelled. So This is what he realized, that the negativities they dissolve, and finally they dissolve altogether, and then he experiences the Buddha nature becoming the manifested fully. So at that point he experienced what is known as Sugata. Sugata meaning the one gone to bliss, the bliss of the purity. So with this experience, then he becomes so confident that this is what I should be teaching. With this confidence, then he went in touch to teach, to protect the beings by giving this teaching. That makes him the protector. So it's for this reason that the great saint Acharya Dignaga, the 6th century incredible great saint scholar, also referred to as the respected, credited as the father of the Buddhist logic. Buddhist logic, a great saint, philosopher, and logician, and practitioner, and he said this praise to Buddha Shakyamuni on the basis of this biography, which Buddha Shakyamuni, this principle, displayed. So what he said is that in Tibetan, these are the 2 lines in Tibetan, which actually originally translated from the Indian source, from Sanskrit. So in English, it's here in this book, the blue book, page 3, the blue book, page 3, the first 2 lines, words from salutation of Pramana Samuchaya. Pramana Samuchaya is the text written by Acharya Dignaga. Pramana Samuchaya is written by Acharya Dignaga, and Acharya Dignaga, this is interesting 2 lines. These 2 lines, Acharya Dignaga, right? Acharya Dignaga, he wrote in those days, 6th century AD, in India, the facility for books, papers, the sheets and so forth was very unlikely, very remote. So he wrote this stanza on the slate, on a stone slate. He was in hermitage, and then he wrote it, and then he left for the alms begging, for alms round. And coming back, he saw that what he wrote there on the slate was erased. And again the next day he wrote the same thing. Again he left for alms round. Again, 3rd day coming back, again erased. It happened 3 times. Then the 4th time he did not write the same thing. What he wrote was that, who has ever erased what I wrote earlier? If you erase this thinking that out of fun, out of joke, what I'm doing is not a joke, it's a very important work, please don't erase it. If you erase it because you disagree with me, come in person. This was what he wrote, and then he left. Coming back, he saw a person waiting there. So in those days, the tradition was to have a debate. If you disagree, debate. Debate, and if you lost a debate, you have to convert it to the other tradition. No choice. This is the tradition, the culture, the custom of those days, to be converted. I'm a Buddhist, I debate with Hindu, because not really, in those days no Hindus. Some other traditions like Samkhya, Vedanta, Nyaya, Mimamsaka, Charvaka, these traditions were there, mainly 6 traditions were there. And Jainism, if you debate with the other tradition, and the scholar of the other tradition defeat you, I have to convert to the other tradition. no option, you have to convert. Not only you, all your students, right? You have 2 students, you have 500 students, all should be converted. This was the bet in those days. So 2 of them debated, and who can challenge this, the logic, the father of the Buddhist logic? Who can challenge him in the debate? Acharya Dignaga, he was the father of Buddhist logic. So the other person was defeated, and the other person in those days is quite popular. They say the miracle power through meditative experiences. Then they gain miracle powers, and deliberately try to cultivate the miracle powers in those days. So the people having the miracle powers to fly, miracle powers to to read to others' minds, the miracle power to hurt others. This is very common in those days. Very common. And this person, he had the power to send fire from his mouth. So what he did was that after having lost the debate, then he became so angry towards Acharya Dignaga, he sent fire from his mouth towards the Acharya Dinnaga. And Acharya Dinnaga's was burnt. Then Acharya Dinnaga felt so disappointed, so sad that whole life I dedicated to work for the welfare of all beings. Now I can see that I realize the weakness of me. I can't even benefit one person. This person already lost the debate, he should be converted. Instead of converting, now the harming me. How can I possibly help him? If I cannot help one person, how can I help all sentient beings? The prayer that I say every day is, may I become Buddha for all sentient beings. Now that I realize that I can't do even benefit for one person. So what he did was that this slate on which he wrote this very precious lines, he threw the slate in the sky, and the moment the slate was to drop, he was to quit the spirit of bodhicitta. And then, to his amazement, the slate never fell. And he looked up, and the bodhisattva of the wisdom, Manjushri, was holding the slate. Then Manjushri counseled him, my child, why should you have to feel demoralized? Just continue what you're doing, and your work, although this person is not benefited directly, but your work will be of like an eyes of the wisdom for innumerable beings in the future. You continue your work, and I'm always there to bless you and to inspire you. Right? So this is how this work came into completion. And these two lines, these two lines, Acharya Dignaga, he wrote in 6th century. Then in 7th century, there was an incredible great Buddhist logician, Acharya Dharmakirti. He saw these two lines and he was so fascinated. Okay, how many of you are fascinated by these two lines? Let us read these two lines and see if you are fascinated. Okay, let us read these lines together slowly. Maybe we can read it 3 times so that your fascination can come out. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector to your make restorations. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector to your make restorations. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector to your make restorations. Okay, how many of you are so inspired? Right? Wow, it's amazing. How many of you felt that? Okay, so this is what Acharya Dharmakirti, 7th century AD, after 100 years, he felt it. He felt this, and then he wrote a whole chapter on these two lines. Just to explain these two lines, he wrote a whole chapter, and this chapter is consisted of 283 stanzas. 283 stanzas, and these 283 stanzas, if you want to read it as to what it said, you will not understand it. For that, again, you need 2 big book volumes to understand it, right? In other words, to understand these 2 lines, you need to understand 2 huge volumes, right? Okay, so the point is that this is so concise. It is these two lines contain such a concise message there. Concise message. In short, what we can say is that it says that finally, what do you want, right? Okay, interesting. What happened was that 2 years ago, when I was in Singapore, I'll make these stories short. Otherwise, right, we will not touch the main topic. Okay, so in Singapore, in generally speaking, it's a beautiful mixture. Beautiful mixture of the people. Mixture because of the Chinese, what do you call it? The legacies or the Chinese blood. They're very hardworking, and because of the British colonization for a long time, they have the very open, thinking. Both are there. It's incredibly beautiful, the combination. So that makes them very gentle, and then the Chinese, respectful, not that the today's common Chinese. olden Chinese. It's amazing, the respect and so forth. And then the English open-mindedness, creativity, combined together is a great synergy of the Singaporeans. So this was the impression that I got. And then they say the people come for one-on-one discussion and interview with me. And there was one professor from Singapore, and I was expecting him the same. And the first question that he asked me, he shocked me. He asked me that you're a Buddhist. I said, yes. Then he said, imagine that you're not Buddhist, born in a Buddhist family. Do you think still you're going to be a Buddhist? Wow, very daring question, which very likely you would not expect from Singaporean. Right? He asked this question. Then I told him that this is an incredibly great question. Very important question. Because if not 90%, 80% of the people, how they follow religions is because they're born in their family. Not because of their thinking. Because they're born in this family, and then they can become fanatics Buddhist, fanatics Hindus, fanatic Muslims, fanatics this, that, and so forth. All these, fundamentalism, they all arise out of being born in that family, right? And not out of thinking. So therefore, so now the point is, okay, let's say that we are day one old child, day one old boy and girl, we have no religion. Imagine that we are all taken to another world system where there's no religion, right? And then you asked a question, what do you want? What do you want? How do you know? What do you want? Day one, how many of you cried? How many of you cried? Day one, right? We don't remember that, but we know that for sure I cried. If I'm not cried, somebody might have stabbed me, right? To make me cry. Because this is what makes the lungs to, work. So cry, and how many of you cried saying that, oh, the other baby is not being fed, please feed the other baby. How many of you cried like this? How many cried like this? Nobody. We all cried by saying, I want somebody to embrace me. I want milk. I'm hungry. This is how we cried, right? So this is who we are. So in short, day one we are born on this earth. We are born with the desire for one's own happiness, born with the desire not to be cold, and so forth. So in short, we are born with the desire to get away from the fears like cold, hunger, thirst, and so forth. Desire to have the happiness of the mother's warmth and so forth. So this is how we are born, right? So this is our basic desire. So this fear that we want to get rid of, the happiness that we seek, the question is, can we get rid of the fear 100%? Can we get it 100%? Can we get rid of the fears 100% of the fears? 1. Can we get the happiness 100% of the happiness? 2. If this is what we can get, this is the ultimate goal. And in this world, if people really look for these two things, no wars, guaranteed, no corruption, no gender discrimination, no gap in rich and poor, no abuse because of the gap in rich and poor. All these problems will be solved if people are genuinely genuinely acknowledge what they seek and what they want to shun. Okay, now this thing that we're seeking, ultimate happiness and getting rid of all the miseries, these two things, right? So, whether or not this achievable, if achievable, for us even to finish class 10, right? Even to finish class 10, we need the help of teachers. Then to achieve the maximum happiness, to get into all the miseries, we have to depend on a guide. Do you agree with me or not? Right? If to reach to class 10 level, if you finish college, for finishing university, we need the help of a guide. And in Israel, to apply for a PhD program, do you need a guide or not? Yes. Of course, right? So you need a guide. He or she is known as a guide. So just to finish PhD, we need a guide. For the PhD of Buddhahood, why not we need a guide? We need the best of the guide, right? So therefore it says, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, very reliable guide. What do you mean by reliable? Somebody who has actually experienced that. Right? Somebody who has experienced that. Okay, if you want to go to India, and if there are two guides, one who became guide on the basis of reading books, what is India, where is Delhi,